Abuja Electricity faces 200 million naira fine over tariff violation and misapplication. Gunmen invade Kogi community, kill 19 people, set houses ablaze. Chaos as police try to disperse Shiites procession in Kaduna State. On the international scene, Niger military junta dissolves local councils. Hello and welcome to the Trust TV News Update at this hour. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for joining us, and now the news in full. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has slapped Abuja Electricity Distribution PLC with a hefty fine of 200 million naira for failing to adhere to its tariff guidelines, creating a stir among consumers and industry stakeholders alike. The fine comes in the wake of the supplementary order to the multi-year tariff order for 2024 issued on April 3, 2024, which AEDC has been found in violation of. In a detailed correspondence released by NERC, it was revealed that AEDC improperly applied an approved tariff increase across all customer bands, contrary to the specific directive that only customers in Band A were subject to the rate hike. The oversight has not only led to undue charges for customers in Bands B to E, but has also called into question the operational compliance and fairness standards maintained by one of the country's leading electricity distribution companies. On out of security matters, some unidentified gunmen have invaded Agojeju Odo community in Omala local government area, Kogi State, killing 19 people and setting many houses on fire. Confirming the incident on Friday, the police public relation officer in Kogi State, William Aya, said the yet-to-be-identified gunmen attacked the community on Thursday. Aya said that the divisional police office of the local government informed him that 19 people were killed, while some sustained injuries in the attack. He stated that the Commissioner of Police in Kogi State, Bertrand Onuoha, has deployed more policemen to the communities, assuring that the perpetrators of the heinous act will be apprehended. The communities appealed to Kogi State Governor Usman Ododo and security agencies to come to their aid by deploying more security personnel to the area, as the police in the local government area have been overwhelmed and overpowered by the attackers. Frontline elder statesman and President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo Worldwide, Chief Emmanuel Iwanyao, has called on the federal government to institute a full-scale, thorough investigation into the Ijebu-Ode luxury bus terrorist attack, in which 59 Igbos traveling home to Ebonyi State for the Easter celebrations nearly lost their lives on Friday, March 29. Chief Iwanyao, who made the call in a statement in Owerri, said the dastardly act, was an attempt of mass extermination of Igbos and called for urgent action to crack down on the perpetrators. The Igbo leader disclosed that, from the reports received, the terrorists stopped the bus, dispossessed all the 59 passengers in the bus of their belongings, stripped them naked, and forced them back into the vehicle, poured petrol on the bus, and set it ablaze for them to perish in it. He stated that it was divine providential intervention from the prayers and invocation of the spirit of Easter by the passengers that saved them. There is pandemonium in the Kaduna State capital as police operatives are trying to disperse members of the proscribed Islamic movement of Nigeria, popularly known as Shiites, who are holding a procession in the city center. This has created panic and fear among the residents, particularly those whose shops are located along the Ahmadu Bello Way. The IMN members had gathered along the Katsina roundabout by Ahmadu Bello Way before the police arrived and tried to disperse them. This is not the first time that the IMN members are holding public procession despite their prescription by the federal government under the former President Muhammadu Buhari. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has called on ECOWAS member states to come together, strengthen ties, and reject forces bent on causing division within the community. He spoke on Thursday at the inauguration of the 6th legislature of the ECOWAS Parliament in Abuja. Kehinde Amodu has details of the story.
The ECOWAS Parliament represents the hub of democratic activity in the West African sub-regional body. To deepen democratic interface, the ECOWAS Parliament is seeking enhanced powers, primarily through the election of its members by direct universal suffrage. President Tinubu, who is the chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, is in support of this.
Reinforcing the legitimacy of decisions taken by authority of head of state is key in sending a message that ECOWAS is one body. It is also very important that the executives, on the other hand, must show similar confidence in Parliament, respect the Parliament resolutions, which will indeed deepen democracy in our region.
He's also concerned about regional solidarity, which he says is key to strengthening the bloc's resilience and effectiveness at this critical time in history.
We cannot afford to remain passive and ordinary spectators while our community faces the threat of disintegration. We stand united against such forces and are committed to ensuring that our unity remains unshaken.
Other speakers at this inauguration are in agreement with the Nigerian president that the parliament is critical to regional integration, prosperity, and development.
Our region faces serious political, economic, environmental, and security challenges. Even our collective community commitment to unity has been questioned. The role of the Parliament is, therefore, more important than ever. The balance between executive, judicial, and legislative arms is critical for effective, responsive, and transparent governance.
Let us use ECOWAS, and particularly ECOWAS Parliament, to ensure that national boundaries are not Berlin walls separating kith and kings, but bridges of unity and progress. The road ahead is filled with new challenges and opportunities, some already enumerated by the President of the ECOWAS.
Meanwhile, Deputy Senate President of Nigeria, Barau Jibrin, has emerged acting Speaker of the 6th Legislature of the ECOWAS Parliament. Senator Barau, who is the leader of the Nigerian delegation to the ECOWAS Parliament, emerged during the inaugural session of the Assembly. From the federal capital, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
And on to the south-south part of the country. Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has stated that the National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party has rejected the alleged amended list of caretaker committee members that has been circulating on social media and appeared in some national newspapers on Thursday. Governor Fubara, escorted by his Chief Press Secretary, Nelson Chukwudi, made this clarification after a meeting with the NWC at the PDP National Secretariat, Wadata Plaza, Abuja, on Thursday evening. The governor reiterated that the decisions made during a previous meeting between the NWC, the Board of Trustees, and the PDP Governors Forum in Abuja in March still stand. He further emphasized the party's stance that the executive officers whose tenures ended in March will continue in their respective roles until the NWC-approved 3-month extension period expires and new congresses are conducted. The Plateau State House of Assembly Speaker, Honorable Gabriel Dewan, has finally sworn in 9 out of the 16 members of the All Progressives Congress who were declared winners by the appeal court. The new lawmakers were declared winners after the Court of Appeal sacked the 16 PDP members on the grounds that their party was not qualified to sponsor candidates in the election. The Speaker had stated that he received a court directive not to swear in the affected members until a determination of the suit filed by sacked PDP lawmakers who challenged the appeal court's judgment. The Speaker swore in the 9 members at the old government house, where the house is temporarily conducting its legislative activities. No reason was given as to why the remaining 7 members were not sworn in by the house. And now to the northwest part of the country. The Kano state government has filed criminal charges against the immediate past governor, Abdullahi Ganduje, over alleged $413,000, 1.38 billion naira bribery. The state said it had assembled 15 witnesses to testify against Ganduje, joined as co-defendants in the charge sheet dated April 3, 2024, cited were Ganduje's wife, Hafsat, and his son, Umar. Also listed as defendants were Jibrila Muhammad Lamash Properties Limited, Safari Textiles Limited, and Lesser General Enterprises. Governor Abba Yusuf had an assumption of office accused Ganduje of misappropriating public funds and allocating plots of lands to some members of his immediate family. Popular cross-dresser Idris Olarinwaju Okuneye, also known as Bobrisky, has arrived at the Federal High Court in Lagos for his arraignment. Bobrisky was brought into the court in a white bus at 9:12 a.m. by officials of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Trial Judge Justice Abimbola Awogboro is presiding over other cases, and Bobrisky's case is listed as number 10 on the court's list. Bobrisky, who was arrested by the EFCC on Wednesday, is facing a 6-count charge of naira abuse on alleged money laundering. The governor of Taraba State, Agbu Kefas, has directed the immediate assessment of households affected by the windstorm that wreaked havoc in Takum local government area of the state. This follows the governor's visit to the affected communities to assess the level of destruction. The report.
What used to be people's homes and markets have now turned structures without roofs. Businesses, worship centers, and schools are also not spared by the once friendly visitor who turned unfriendly as residents watched helplessly following a windstorm which lasted for hours. Some residents blame the incident on deforestation, lamenting that some individuals have cut down the surrounding forest, which serves as windbreakers for their selfish reasons. The governor, alongside his team, is here for first-hand information and to sympathize with affected residents over the unfortunate incident. At the end of the visit, the majority leader of the State Assembly and the traditional ruler of the area commended the efforts of the governor to assist victims.
Well, if you look at it carefully, you will discover that most of the destruction affected the zinc of the roof. So we expect that this government will support them with some building materials in order to fix their houses, so that with this rain, they will not sleep outside. In
June last year, the governor signed an executive order suspending all mining activities in Taraba and subsequently barred all forms of tree falling in a bid to end a looming disaster associating with soil degradation. It is expected that the Task Force Committee on Deforestation and Illegal Mining, as well as stakeholders, will have a change of strategy in curtailing further effects of climate change.
This is the news update on Trust Television, coming up shortly. Tailors decry poor power supply as pressure mounts to deliver new clothes for Eid al-Fitr celebrations. We'll bring you insights and details of this story and more after the break. Don't go away, we'll be right back. Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. But if you're just joining us, this is the news update on Trust Television. Let's take a look at our top stories again. told you that Abuja Electricity faces 200 million naira fine over tariff violation and misapplication. Plus, gunmen invade Kogi community, kill 19 people, set houses ablaze. And now moving on to more stories. 16 days after the Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company disconnected University College Hospital in Ibadan, Oyo State, for owing 495 million naira power has been restored to the health facility. Reports said electricity was restored around 6:30 p.m. on Thursday. IBEDC disconnected the facility on March 19, the third time in less than 2 months, over what it called accumulated bill indebtedness. While given reasons for the disconnection, the Ibadan Disco explained that it disconnected the hospital after failed attempts to engage with the facility's management regarding the 495 million naira debt, which had persisted for over 6 years. The JAC chairman, Oludayo Olabampe, lamented that the health workers had been working without electricity since March 19 and could not continue that way. Wearing new clothes is one of the rituals of Eid in Islam. As such, Muslims in different parts of the world buy new dresses to observe the festival according to the teachings of Islam. During such festivities, Nigerian tailors work under immense pressure to meet the high demands of customers. With less than a week to the 2024 Eid al-Fitr, Trust TV examines how tailors work amidst infrastructural challenges as they struggle to meet customers' deadlines in Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail reports.
Tailors at the popular Wuse market in Abuja are busy trying to meet the deadlines amidst mounting pressure from customers ahead of the 2024 Eid al-Fitr celebration. The pressure on them is compounded by the epileptic power supply, which is crucial to their work in the country. Made up of tailors and textile retailers, these entrepreneurs battle with high running costs due to the lingering energy crisis in the country.
It affects us very well. It affects us. Now they say they have increased tariff. Without light, we cannot work. And not even the light that we are telling now is light we are using to work. No light to work. And they say they have increased it now.
So government should look into it. Daily we spend 8,000. We might make 10,000, then spend 8,000 of fuel. Our profit might be 2,000. Can 2,000 sustain us? So this is one of the key factors that the government should look into.
They say there is a decline in the number of customers this period due to the poor economy. Hence, the workload is moderate. Meanwhile, the inability of some tailors to deliver on time has been linked to clients' failure to bring their jobs on time.
And another thing is, some of the customers too, they will just drop the material with you, and then you are looking at least 50 or 60% of deposit to enable you deliver or buy material to deliver. You will not see the customer until the day of collection. So you will find out that the tailor was not in position to finance the job and deliver at time. So in that situation, you'll find disappointment. To start the fasting is another issue in the family. So the patronage from the tailor angle is very low. I don't know whether that is why, because we don't have too much challenges this time around. Because as we rightly know, we have just few days to the Salah.
Be that as it may, thousands of customers who were able to afford new clothes are eagerly waiting for their tailors to fulfill their obligations ahead of the Eid festival next week. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Edo refinery has received a total of 15,000 barrels of crude oil in 2024 for production from the OZA oil field operated by Decla Resources Incorporation and its co-venturer, Millennium Oil and Gas Company Limited. The Chief Executive Officer of Decla Resources, Samir Famoyide, who disclosed this in a statement, noted that the company has continued ongoing crude oil injection volumes into the Trans-Niger pipeline for transport, tow, and export from the Bonny Export Terminal. The refinery was developed by the Edo Refinery and Petrochemical Company Limited and was facilitated through a memorandum of understanding between the Governor, Godwin Obaseki-led state government, and AIPCC. It is a 6,000 BPD capacity plant, which is being expanded to 21,000 BPD. The facility, with its feedstock, can produce 500,000 liters of diesel, 300,000 liters of naphtha, and 200,000 liters of low-poor fuel oil. And now to the international scene. The head of Niger's military government on Thursday ordered the dissolution of all local councils and put an army officer in charge of the capital, General Abdurrahman Tihani, who ousted the African nation's elected president in a coup last July, signed an order for the dismantling of municipal and regional councils that were last elected in 2020. A second decree, reported by state radio, named military, police, and public officials who will be put in charge of local authorities. The mayor of the capital, Niamey, Umaru Dogari, has been replaced by an army colonel. The military took over the country last year as it confronted a mounting jihadist threat. Still on the foreign scene, the Canada Immigration Department said it is raising fees for permanent residency applications starting April 30, 2024. The fee will increase from $515 to $575, reflecting a 12% rise following Canadian regulations tied to the Consumer Price Index. Canada waived the fee for dependent children accompanying applicants seeking permanent residence, similar to the process of obtaining a green card in the United States, facilitating the path to potential Canadian citizenship. Canadian authorities have also raised fees for several immigration programs, including federal skilled workers, provincial nominee programs, and caregiver pilots. Application fees will increase from $850 to $950 for main applicants, and from $230 to $260 for accompanying dependent children. And finally, in sports news, Nasara Football Club of Maraban Rido Chikun local government area of Kaduna State have emerged champions of the Maiden First Baptist Church Super 8 Unity Cup competition after beating the hosts Baptist Church 0-1 in the final. The thrilling final that drew lots of spectators saw the host Baptist Church team miss several scoring chances after the Nasara FC took the lead in the first half, courtesy of Jesse Pius, who took advantage of a defensive error to shoot into the net. And the scoreline remained same at the end of the first half. Both teams resumed hostilities in the second half, targeting each other's net, but their efforts to either increase the scoreline or equalize were futile at the end of regulation time. Desperate measures on both sides saw both teams ending the match with 10 men, as the center referee had to send 2 players, 1 each from both sides, for indiscipline. The winners, Nasara FC, were awarded certificates of participation, trophy, and cash reward, while the runners-up also got certificates and reward of 50,000 naira. And with that, we've come to the end of the news update at this hour. Remember, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. I am Aisha Falihu. Thank you so much for watching. Join us again.